Algebra 1, here are some test review practice problems for Chapter 1. I will also post a PDF of these problems in the news feed for you to print if you would like. First off, we are going to evaluate and simplify. So number 1, we are given that A equals 10, B equals 3, and C equals -4. When it says to evaluate, that means we are going to use the substitution property and plug in these values. So 3 times A is 10, plus B squared, B is 3, so 3 squared, minus 5 times C plus A, -4 plus 10. Remember to follow order of operations, so we will be doing what is inside the parentheses first. -4 plus 10 is 6. And next we're going to deal with the exponent. So first we did the parentheses, next is the exponent. 3 to the second power is 9, so 3 times 10 plus 9 minus 5 times 6. And then multiply from left to right. 30 plus 9 minus 30 again. 30 minus 30, these cancel, leaving us with a +9. That is evaluating and simplifying. That is number 1. Number 2, ask us to rewrite using the commutative property. Remember, commutative property, CO, change order. You can go back to the Google site and you can review all the properties there. But if we want to rewrite this using the commutative property, all we're going to do is change the order and remultiply. So how about 2 times -3 times 10? That's one way to rewrite it using the commutative property. Next, number 3 says to solve and justify. Solve and justify. So if we have 2z minus 7/8 equals 3/4, if we want to solve this, the first thing we need a least common denominator. And that least common denominator is going to be 8 because we have 8 and 4 and of course 1. So what's missing? This one needs to be multiplied by 8. This one multiplied by 1, no change. This one multiplied by 2. That gives us a whole new equation. So 2z times 8 is 16z over 8 minus 7 over 8 equals 3 times 2, 6 over 8. And remember, once we have the common denominator all the way across, we are done with it, which leaves us a very simple equation to solve. 16z minus 7 equals 6. So first of all, before we do anything else, let's go back and justify our steps. Here, you can just say we're getting a common denominator because really what we're doing here is we are using the identity. We're multiplying everything by a funny form of 1, getting a least common denominator. Next, from here, we are going to add 7 to both sides, the addition property of equality. 7's cancel. We get 16z equals 13. Next, divide by 16, divide by 16, the 16's cancel. We get z equals 13 over 16 using the division property of equality. We're going to keep going. Number 4, solve and justify. This one's got a lot going on. If you need to, remember you can use during our practice and review, you can use your foldable here to help you out. We have grouping symbols, so we are going to use the distributive property. So let's show that here and here. So that's going to turn into -10 times 2x is -20x. -10 times -5 plus 50 plus 8x minus 3 equals 6 times 2x is 12x. 6 times 3 plus 18. So next, do we have like terms on the same side of the equal sign? Yes, we need to combine like terms, CLT. So here are our like terms, here and here. Remember, let's keep our equal signs lined up as we work down the page. Negative 20 plus 8 is negative 12x. Positive 50 minus 3 plus 47 equals 12x plus 18. Now, I ask you to justify, so let's go back, let's do that. First, we use the distributive property. After we use the distributive property, we combined like terms. And now, do we have variables on both sides of the equation? Yes. Find the variable with the least coefficient and move it to the other side. So the least coefficient is the negative one, so plus 12 plus 12. That's the addition property of equality. So that gives us 47 equals 24x plus 18. Next, do we have numbers on both sides? Yes. Find the number that is on the same side as the variable and move it to the other side. So minus 18, that's the subtraction property of equality. 47 minus 18, I believe, is 29. So 29 equals 24x, divide by 24, divide by 24, division property of equality. And we find that x is 29/24. Just leave it as an improper fraction. It's just fine. Next, another solve and justify. Another solve and justify. And it's one with fractions, so once again, we need a common denominator. So if we have 2's, 4's, and 6's, the common multiple of 2, 4, and 6, that is the smallest, is 12. So multiply this one by 2. Multiply this one by 3 over 3, this one by 3 over 3, this one by 6 over 6. That is finding a least common denominator. Truly what's happening is we are multiplying by the identity. So let's write it out. So everything's over 12 now. 10f over 12 minus 9f over 12 plus another 9f, or not 9f, but just 9 over 12 equals 6 over 12. But once again, once we get that common denominator, we no longer need it. Use it and lose it. Now we've got a nice, easy equation. 10f minus 9f plus 9 equals 6. And so now we are going to combine like terms. 10f minus 9f is 1f. Plus 9 equals 6. Subtraction property of equality next when we minus 9. F is all that remains on the left-hand side. 6 minus 9. You have 6 cookies. You need 9. That means you're 3 short. That's why the answer is -3. That is number 5. Next is number 6. Number 6, we're asked to solve for y. So this is a literal equation. We are going to get y in terms of x. So our answer will contain x. What has been done to the y? The y has been multiplied by -4, and it has a positive 3x added to it. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract 3x from both sides, which gives us -4y equals -3x plus 20. Next, undo the times -4 by dividing by -4, and that gives us y all by itself. The variable has been isolated. y equals -3 over -4, negative or positive 3/4 x. 20 divided by -4 is -5. That is y in terms of x. Two more problems, both absolute value. So number 7, remember our steps for solving absolute value equations. Step 1 is to isolate the absolute value expression. To do that, -2, -2, the 2's cancel. The absolute value of 3t minus 4 equals 12. Step 1 is complete. Move on to step 2, which is to set up the two cases. 3t minus 4 equals 12, or 3t minus 4 equals -12. We're going for two answers here. So +4, 3t equals 16. Divide by 3, divide by 3, t equals 16/3. We're doing step 3 here, which is to solve both of the equations. +4, 3t equals -8. Divide by 3, divide by 3, t equals -8/3. 1, 2. Two answers. When our absolute value is set equal to a positive number, we are expecting two answers. That's number 7. Last, number 8. Solve for S. So once again, we need to do step 1, which is to isolate the absolute value. We will do that once again if there is no operator in between the number and the absolute value bars, then this is multiplication. So to undo multiplication, we are going to divide both sides by -3. They cancel. We get the absolute value of 6s minus 5 equals -8. Now consider, can I plug in any number in for s and then multiply by 6, take away 5, and then finally take the absolute value of said number? Will it ever equal a -8? No. So absolute value can never be equal to a negative number by definition. Therefore, there is no solution to this problem. By definition, an absolute value can never be negative. So there are 8 more problems for you to enjoy in preparation for your test.